Sally Field, you bring us an extraordinary memoir, In Pieces. There it is. It is out now. By the way, how beautiful is that?
Gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. And it's
a little light reading.
Well, it's not light reading, but it's a fascinating story, and you know there's so many personal things in here.
Yeah.
And I understand the urge to figure it out in your head and to write it down, but it is weird that then like yobs like me can know it, and you know people will read this and know these things about you.
Yeah.
What compelled you to write it?
That is.
What compelled you to write it?
Well, when my mother passed away on my 65th birthday, 7 years ago now, I thought that I had done all the things that you have in your head you're supposed to do to have those conversations and resolve whatever you feel is unresolved to this point. And yet when she was gone, I felt so deeply, really, just unsettled, an urgency about it, like there was something wrong, like I had something gangrenous growing on me, and I didn't know what it was, and I couldn't put the pieces together, and I didn't know why I was feeling this way, and that was the beginning of it, and I knew I had to find for myself what this story was, put the pieces together, because I had drug around my entire life, boxes and boxes of memorabilia from my life, for 40 years of letters and in my journals and Lord knows memories, and many times I had never had the courage to read them. I have letters from my father from 35 years ago, 40 years ago, that I kept with me, didn't throw away, but I never wanted to know clearly what was in them because I didn't feel I had the strength to know. So it was only in forcing myself to learn a new craft.
Yeah.
It took 7 years to learn a new craft that I went into these boxes of memorabilia, that I read these letters, and at the same time I would write, oh my God, okay, this is what it says, and I would be shaking and revealing and uncovering this information that I simply needed to know before I could ever move on. I would be 65 the rest of my life until I was dwindling and gone.
Yeah, but the story you tell, on one level it is your career, because that threads your life, but you do, as you say, share these stories, you know, being abused as a child, difficult relationships, your insecurities, and I don't know if you'll agree with this. What I was really struck was how important your work was. Yeah. It wasn't just work, that you found personal strength in the characters you played.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was that when I was 12 years old, and I don't know how you guys found your craft or why you even ended up there. When I was 12, I was lucky enough to, in my junior high, I was lucky enough to have a theater arts department. And I was, came from a sort of traumatic kind of childhood, and I had put myself for survival in a sort of fog. But when I stepped on stage, and it wasn't even a stage, it was a classroom with all the chairs and desks pushed aside, I did my first scene, and I was 12 in 7th grade, and it was from Born Yesterday. I couldn't have been more wrong. But it was that some bell rang, and the fog cleared, and something electric, like a spark, happened inside me, and I was alive, and I could hear my own voice. I was purely alive on stage with that young man across from me, and I heard myself speak to myself. And it was the only time it had happened. It was just a flash, and then I went back to not knowing what to do with my hands and my feet. But my whole life long, I have spent, trying to search after those fireflies on the edges of my eyes, which is what led me through my entire life.
Who are you? Who are you? You're a superwoman.
Yeah,
you guys are just young, that's all.
Do you give speeches?
I've been here a long time.
Have you given more speeches about this? I mean, because I think it's very powerful what you just said about...
More speeches. I've been on the road with this book for 2 months.
Have you?
All talk out.
Who haven't I talked to? I swear to God, it's like ding dong. You want to buy a book?